Hello everybody, we're back for another edition of Cook It Simple. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to talk about some tips and some tricks, how to stretch that food dollar. Today's program we're going to talk a little bit about some of the seasonal ingredients that we might cook during Christmas, Thanksgiving or Easter. We're going to do a little turkey talk. The most important thing about a turkey, when you get the turkey, is defrosting it properly. If the turkey is not defrosted properly, it's not going to cook properly. So the best way to defrost the turkey is, of course, slowly in your refrigerator. Probably take a period about 3 days for a 10 to 15 pound turkey. Now, most people don't have room in the refrigerator to thaw that turkey over 3 days or so. So the second best way is to thaw the turkey in cold water. Now, usually you can take a large container, whether it's a pail, whether it's a Rubbermaid tote, whatever it is, your kitchen sink, put the turkey in there in cold water, and then periodically during the thawing process, change the water a few times. One of the tricks I do in the wintertime is I'll take the turkey, I will put it into cold water, put it into a little camper cooler and put it out in the snowbank and just leave it out there overnight, and usually that'll thaw it. Now, the second thing is that some people want to add flavor to the turkey, change the texture of this turkey. So what we see here today is we have a turkey, about a 10-pound turkey, and it's in this murky brine from Davy Jones's locker. Basically what this brine is made out of is we got 1 gallon of water, 1 cup of coarse salt, usually coarse salt, half a cup of sugar, and then we threw in all kinds of ingredients, like some onion, we threw in some fresh herbs, whatever you've got, some garlic, bay leaves, whatever. So that, again, when we're brining the turkey, is going to change the flavor, and it also, once the turkey is brined, it is actually going to cook much faster. So we're going to take it out of the brine. We're going to put it into a large colander like this. And basically what we want to do is we want to dry that turkey off as much as we can. Pat it dry. Get the cavity. Now, the second thing you might want to do with this turkey, so it'll cook a little more evenly, is to actually fold the wings back. We'll just do a little twist like this. Something like. Now, what we're going to do is I have a large handful of fresh herbs. This is thyme, some rosemary. If you don't have it, you can put some bay leaves in there, whatever you've got. I insert that into the cavity. I have also cut an onion. So you're going to say, why isn't he putting the stuffing in there? Well, usually in modern cooking, we usually prefer to cook the stuffing separately. No saying that you can't put the stuffing in there, but this way the turkey is going to cook faster, it's going to cook more consistently, and it's going to cook more safely, because one of the worst things is the turkey takes a long time to cool off, and if it's got that moist stuffing in there, you're actually maybe causing a sanitation problem. So once we've got the turkey out, we're going to put it into a greased pan like that. Now, some people say, oh, but I like to tuck the legs in like that. Well, actually, it's proven that if you put the turkey in like this with the legs open, it'll cook faster. And also, you'll see that the most inconsistent, hardest part to cook is the thighs. So when the thighs are open like that, the heat's going to be able to penetrate that. We actually rely about 20 minutes per pound on cooking a turkey. 10-pound turkey like this will probably take 200 minutes, which is basically 3 hours and 20 minutes. Because it's brine, it's going to cook faster. So probably take about 3 hours. We'll put that in the oven at about 350. You know, periodically we can baste the turkey with its juices. And sometimes people like to turn the turkey in the pan in the oven to get some. If it starts to get too brown on the top, just tent it with a little aluminum foil. So there's our turkey all ready to put into the oven. Voila. One of the nicest things with a turkey dinner is to make some stuffing. And I know there's all sorts of convenience products down there, but the question I ask is why would you want to use those convenience products when you can, it's so simple to make your own stuffing. So first of all, we're going to start out with some melted butter or margarine, whatever you've got. And we're going to saute up some celery. You notice I put the celery in first because it takes a little longer to cook. We don't have to cook it completely through because once we add it to the stuffing, then we're going to bake it additionally. But we're going to get that celery going nice. This is when we're going to build the layers of flavor. So now is the time to put the salt and pepper in. Good idea to put the salt in on your hand so you know exactly how much you put in there. Probably put in about a tablespoon. And of course, nice freshly ground pepper. If you don't have the big pepper grinder, of course, use your spice bottle. And now we're going to add those onions. I can already smell the beautiful flavors of those. About 1 onion, a couple of stalks of celery is all you need. And we're going to saute that up. And then, of course, I have my spice blend. Whatever you want to use, your spice blend is fine. This case, we're using our own spice blend, which is made with some thyme, some powdered sage. You could put rosemary, thyme in there. And as soon as you put the spices in there, I'm going to make it extra spicy. What the heck? And you can smell the beautiful flavors come off. Rosemary, thyme, sage. I think they probably wrote some songs about that. So we've got that sauteed up. We're just going to put that aside. And I'm going to take a big bowl. One thing we always have lots of is bread down at the food bank. So we can take about 1 loaf of bread. I've taken this loaf of bread. I've laid it out so it dries out a little bit. So day-old bread or older bread is perfect for this. And so we've got a nice bowl of that bread. And it's about 1 loaf diced up, whatever you got. Doesn't have to be sliced bread. It can be buns, it can be whatever. So flip that up there. And then we're going to mix this all up. And you can see that this is far more nutritious stuffing than the stuff you get in the little box. And you know, when you really figure out how much you're paying for that stuffing and how much you're paying for this stuffing, because you can get lots of bread, there's lots of bread drops around the city, and there's usually no shortage of bread at the Edmonton Food Bank. And then we're going to moisten this up with some stock. Now, if you'd made your turkey, the day before, you'd take all those bones and make up a stock, and we're just going to put enough turkey stock in there to moisten it up. We're going to mix that up. So we're going to give it a good stir. It looks nice and soft. We can always check it for flavor now to make sure it's got enough salt and pepper, and I say that's just about perfect. And we're going to put it into my favorite cooking appliance, which are these Pyrex dishes. If you're really into cooking, what you want to do is get these Pyrex dishes, but only buy them when they're on sale. Why I like the Pyrex dishes is they really do a great job of holding the heat, conducting the heat, and that's all there is to it. We're going to put that in the oven at about 350 and bake that for about an hour or so. Now you can make this the day before and then take it out and put it in, or you can make it actually that day. So there you go, beautiful turkey stuffing. One more quick peek. It's going to be good. Turkey stuffing. Well, it's a great pleasure to welcome Townsend to the Night Kitchens here this morning. We're here to do another segment of Cook It Simple. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to use some common ingredients, easy to access ingredients. We're going to have lots of fun doing it. We're going to teach people a few tips and tricks and how to stretch that food dollar.
Wonderful. That's exactly what our clients need. If you look at me, I don't know anything about the kitchen. I had to marry a chef myself. Sorry, Chef Stanley, you weren't around at that time. But it is a key thing for many Edmontonians to learn how to use their food product and elongate their life. So, you get some food items. What do you do with it? How do you prepare it? How do you make multiple meals out of it? And definitely when people receive our hampers at Edmonton's Food Bank, there are ways that they can augment their own food from their kitchen to make sure that they have food for a longer period of time in their household. So Cook It Simple, you could bring in the family, you could do it as a big collective, whether it's within more people as a collective kitchen, or just do it at home.
Yeah, let's get into the kitchen, start cooking, keep it simple, cook it simple. Stick around, we're going to have fun.
Wonderful.
So through the magic of camera, our turkey is cooked. And what I've done is I poured off all the drippings, all the fat. In the bottom you can see is just pure turkey stock, and on the top is the turkey fat. So to make a gravy, we usually make a roux, and a roux is made out of equal parts of fat and flour. So what we're going to do is, since we've got turkey fat here, why not use the turkey fat? Pan's a little hot. Let's bring that pan off there. So we're going to take off most of the fat. We don't get all of the fat, it's okay. Now what we're going to do is add equal parts of flour till it begins to bubble up quite nicely. Probably need a little more flour. And so you can see it's bubbling up quite nicely, and we're just going to set that aside for a minute. Get a little more flour. And we've got some additional turkey stock here. And we'll just put that in to heat up nice and hot. And look at this beautiful, this is liquid gold. This is going to make a beautiful, beautiful stock. Of course, you see, once it's cool, it's all gelatinous. And that is what makes beautiful, beautiful flavored gravy. Now, if we wanted to kick it up a little bit, we could put a little fresh thyme in there that I happen to have from my garden. I just let that cook up there. And we've got a little more flour here. Move that back to that burner. And we're just going to add a little more flour. It's nice and hot. Just till the fat starts to bubble. And you can see bubbling up there, it's pretty hot. Now, a rule of thumb when you're making stock is to add either a cool stock to a hot roux or a hot roux to a cool stock. So we got the roux. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to pour in a little bit of the stock, like that. We're going to give her a nice, see how thick it got, really fast. It's cooking up. This is a pretty hot stove. Keep stirring. Add a little more. Stop. See, it's coming up. Nice. Got some nice color to it. I can smell the beautiful flavor. And it's very, very important that we bring this turkey stock, turkey gravy, up to a complete boil before it's finished. A little more. Boiling nicely. Of course, you know, I tend to like to put a little pepper and perhaps a little thyme in there. I already got some thyme in there. Just allow it to cook up a bit. Now, how thick should the gravy be? Generally speaking, when we make the gravy, it should be thick enough to coat the back of a spoon. Like that, see? So that's just about the right consistency. And that is all there is to making turkey gravy. I know lots of people get really, really stressed out at Christmas. Oh, I don't know how to make the gravy. Well, you know how to make it now. And this is all good. It's always good to do a last minute touch. Look at it, it's smooth, there's no lumps in it. I'm gonna taste it. It's pretty good. It could cook a little longer, but it's pretty good gravy. Doesn't really need anything. Not only does it taste like turkey gravy, it tastes like good turkey gravy. So that's how simple it is to make. No big deal. Strained it off. You can see the nice consistency of the gravy coming out like that. We'll just let it strain. Put that aside, a little future reference. And there we have our lovely turkey gravy. How long did that take to cook? 4 or 5 minutes. Now we're going to leave it simmer a little longer. You can actually make this the day before, but it's nice to make the turkey gravy just before you're serving. How good is that? Look at beautiful color, beautiful consistency, and hey, that tastes good. Okay, so we've cooked the big bird, and look at that in all its beauty and its glory. It's cooked. How we tell it's cooked is we usually insert a meat thermometer into the thickest part of the breast, which would be up there. Should read 165. Put it down there in between the thighs, should read about 165 minimum. Now, really, it's recommended that the bird is cooked to be 180, but we know that once we bring the bird out, we're going to get an additional 10 minutes or 10 degrees of cooking. So the big question is, are we going to cook the turkey the day of the event, or are we going to cook the turkey the day before? The advantage to cooking it on the day is, of course, the room will be filled with the aroma of cooked turkey. But if Christmas Day happens to be very hectic for you, sometimes it's a wise idea to cook the turkey the day before for 2 reasons. Then you can have it all sliced and ready to go. You can put it in a pan like this, cover it with a little stock and reheat it. And the other advantage is you can take all the bones and begin to make the stock that you're going to use for your chicken gravy or your turkey gravy or your stuffing. So let's talk about carving the bird. If you were carving at the table, you would start down here at the breast and just cut off a slice like that, usually using a fork. So that's one way to do it. But the way I do it is I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to remove the carcass, the dark meat, from the white meat. We've got all the ingredients in here now that cooked out, the onion. Put that aside. And we'll just put the big bird right down onto the counter. Try to keep our counter nice and clean. So my wife tells me we're going to take off the wing. Use a little bit of gentle persuasion just to get that wing off. Cut through the joint. Put that over there. Put that over there. Now, of course, the advantage to cooking the turkey the day before is the turkey is nice and cool. And we're just going to go down the breast like that. And we're just going to reach in and pull that turkey meat off. So we have the breast, which we're going to put over there. And we're going to go to the other side. Just carve along the keel bone. Just reach in there and pull off that breast. And then, of course, part of the tradition, what would be Christmas or Thanksgiving or Easter without the wishbone, which is there. Usually you take the wishbone, let her dry out, and pull, and break it for good luck. Now we end up with a carcass. We want to take as much of the meat off the carcass as possible, but this carcass, again, is worth its weight in gold. So we're just going to chop that up, and we're going to put that in a pot like this. And we're going to put that all in there like that. And we're going to take the dark meat off. Dark meat off. Put that up like that. Our favorite part of the turkey, of course, is the turkey's nose, or the turkey's tail. There's another colloquial term for it. And then we're going to put all of those ingredients into the pot. And we're going to use that for making stock with. Now, the ingredients that we want to use: a couple of stalks of celery. I'm going to have to wash that celery. Some parsley. Just chop that up roughly. We're going to separate this from 2 bowls like this. And we're going to chop up the carrot roughly. Cut up the celery. Roughly. Put it in there like that. And we're going to cover these 2 pots with cold water. Put in a bay leaf. Put in some of our herbs. And of course, it's very careful that you want to clean everything thoroughly after you've chopped up this turkey, including your hands. Any vegetables that you've touched, make sure that you don't cross-contaminate. The wings are kind of scrappy, not a lot of meat on the wings, so unfortunately we have to use our hands. Some purists would say, oh, you should be wearing gloves. That's a good idea. Put in some herbs, cover it with cold water, and simmer it on the stove, a couple hours or so. And that's how we're going to make our stock. So we're back after attacking that turkey with great vigor, and we've ended up with basically the breast meat, and we ended up with the dark meat. So what I did is just pulled the breast meat off, and now what we're going to do, this is one of the advantages of cooking the turkey the day before. It's much easier to carve. And I'm going to put that little baby up there, and I'm just going to carve this all the way across. So this method also works. I've cooked the turkey the day before. Is that when we're doing the carving like this, is we're actually carving the turkey with the grain. This one we're carving it across the grain. So we'll take another little piece. I decided to wear my rubber gloves. I often wear rubber gloves, not all the time. Rubber gloves are great when you're handling cold poultry, but remember, just because you're wearing rubber gloves, you're not completely decontaminating. So we're going to put a nice portion of that sliced turkey across like that on our counter. And now we're going to talk about the dark meat. Now, the dark meat, you know, sometimes people like to just serve the drumstick as it is, because there's always somebody who likes the idea of playing Henry VIII or whoever he was and chewing on that drumstick. But the real meat is found in the thigh here. So generally what we're going to do is just gently pull that thigh bone or that bone out. Of course, we can reserve that for our stock. Put that over like that. And the dark meat, you're certainly not going to get the nice, even, consistent slices out of it. It might be a little easier to carve it without the skin. There's a real resurgence nowadays in eating that skin. As a matter of fact, you'll go to high-end restaurants and they'll deep fry that turkey skin or duck skin or salmon skin, and that's very popular nowadays. And we're just going to roughly cut up this turkey because it's not really going to make slices, but I'll take the skin off there, it's a little easier. It's going to make some nice dark meat. And of course, you know, the premium part of the turkey is the breast, but everybody likes the dark meat too. So there you got a nice little platter of white and dark turkey. And of course, if we want to decorate it up a little bit, we can do that. We can put some orange slices on it. We can clean it up nice and tidy. Beautiful carved turkey. I hope you enjoy it. Remember, the turkey is an excellent source of protein. It is also a very economical dish if you use the complete turkey, and that's, for instance, making sure you use all the scraps for making the turkey stock, and later little bits and bits make delicious turkey soup. So the whole turkey can be used. Best bang for your buck is to buy a utility turkey. A utility turkey is a grade A turkey, only in the butchering process it might have broken a wing or got a bruise in it, but it's a perfectly good turkey. Sometimes you receive turkey in a hamper at Christmas time, but always buy the turkey, and always buy the turkey on sale, because at 77 cents a pound or 99 cents a pound as they've been, that's an excellent value. When you're buying the turkey, choose about 1 pound per person and enjoy. And I'm sure if you make delicious gravy, a delicious stuffing, brine your turkey, carve it properly, they're going to gobble it up and it's going to be good. Keep it simple, cook it simple, have fun. Please remember that all the recipes are posted on the Edmonton Food Bank website. You can check them out at edmontonsfoodbank.com.